Good morning, everyone. Let us start class SYBSC third semester, paper number first, that is animal diversity third. In that animal diversity, we we are going to study about chapter number 6, that is study of scoliodon. In that scoliodon, in previous lecture we see that the systematic position, habitat, distribution of scoliodon, external morphology of scoliodon. After that we have to move about the next topic, in that is digestive system or alimentary canal of scoliodon. So firstly, what is meant by digestive system or digestive system in scoliodon? The digestive system of scoliodon comprises of an alimentary canal or gut through which food passes and the digestive glands that open into it. Firstly, what is meant by digestion? The digestion means complex food get converted into simple food with the help of some enzymatic activity or with the help of some chemicals, which is the process is called as digestion. In that, which ways or which pathways can be followed for this process, the pathway or these organs is called as digestive system. So in that scoliodon, the complete alimentary canal or gut is present. After that, the alimentary canal is a complete tube starting from the mouth and ending into a rectum. It is folded and includes buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine and rectum. In that alimentary canal, complete alimentary canal is present in scoliodon. Complete alimentary canal means what? From mouth, buccal cavity to the rectum, all parts are present. So that's why it is called as complete alimentary canal. And this alimentary canal is folded, includes buccal cavities, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, intestine and rectum. First part in digestive system is mouth. The mouth of scoliodon opens into a wide, spacious, dorsoventrally flattened mouth cavity on the ventral side of the head. It is immovable, bounded by upper and lower lips, which are mere fold of skin turned in over the jaws. The fish can engulf large sized prey through wide gap mouth, which leads into a buccal cavity. आता फर्स्टली जिथून डायजेस्टिव्ह सिस्टम स्टार्ट होते, सो फर्स्ट पार्ट वी हॅव टू सीन इज माउथ. इन दॅट माउथ द टू जॉज आर प्रेझेंट, that is upper jaw and lower jaw. On the tip of the jaw some skin folding are present. त्या skin folding ला काय म्हणायचं? Over upper lip and lower lip. In that two jaws some teeth are present. These teeth are transverse rows are present, which is called as teeth of the scoliodon. After the mouth, the next part is present in scoliodon. In alimentary canal is buccal cavity. Mouth leads into a cavity inside the head, which is called as buccal cavity. The buccal cavity is wide laterally, low dorsoventrally, lined with a thick mucous membrane, raised ventrally into a thick fold to form non-muscular, non-glandular and non-protrusible tongue. The roof of buccal cavity is supported by the jaws. Roof means upper part. Upper part of the buccal cavity is supported by the jaws. The mucous membrane of the buccal cavity is rough and thick due to the presence of dermal denticles, which are modified teeth present in the jaws. Upper and lower jaws मध्ये जे transverse rows present असतात teethचे, these are the dermal denticles and which are modified into the teeth. The teeth are similar in shape, that is homodont, conical in shape. They are sharp, line obliquely in a few concentric rows in a groove on each jaw. The teeth do not have any connection with the cartilage of the jaws. They are just embedded in the mucous membrane. टीथचा अपर अँड लोअर जॉमध्ये जी टीथची ट्रान्सफर्स रोज प्रेझेंट असते त्यांचा कार्टिलेज सोबत किंवा आउटर स्किन सोबत काहीही कनेक्शन नसतं. दे आर जस्ट इम्बेडेड इन टू द म्युकस मेम्ब्रेन. म्युकस मेम्ब्रेन जे लोअर आणि अप्पर जॉमध्ये प्रेझेंट असेल तिथे इम्बेडेड केलेले असतात ते टीथ. त्यांचं आणि आउटर स्किनचं काहीही कनेक्शन तिथे होत नाही. Though there are several rows of teeth, it only one row function at a time. Thus, polyphyodonty and the old row is replaced by the new one. तिथे खूप सारा रोज असतात. मेनी रोज ऑफ द टीथ आर प्रेझेंट बट ॲट अ टाईम एका वेळी एकच रो कॅरी होते आणि आफ्टर दॅट जेव्हा ते ओल्ड होतील बिकम ओल्ड दे आर रिप्लेस्ड बाय न्यू वन किंवा न्यू रोने रिप्लेस्ड केले जातात. सो दॅट्स वाय दिस many rows are present. This function is called as polyphyodonty. In Scoliodon, teeth are used to catch the prey and prevent the escape of the capture food, but not used for mastication of food. There are no glands in the buccal cavity is present. Buccal cavity opens into the pharynx on either side of which lie in internal opening of the spiracles, and 5 gill pouches are present which are related to the respiration. There is no clear demarcation between the buccal cavity and the pharynx. बकल कॅव्हिटीमध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारचं मास्टिकेशन होतं नाही. डायरेक्टली इनगल्फ केलं जातं ते फूड किंवा काही जे असेल ते. आफ्टर दॅट द बकल कॅव्हिटी लीड्स इन टू द फॅरिंग्स. नेक्स्ट पार्ट काय अलिमेंटरी कॅनलमधला फॅरिंग्स. बकल कॅव्हिटी डायरेक्टली लीड कशाला करते, फॅरिंग्सला लीड करते. सो आफ्टर व्हेन द बकल कॅव्हिटी लीड्स इन टू द फॅरिंग्स ॲट दॅट टाइम सम एक्सटर्नल गिल और गिल पाउचेस कॅन बी प्रेझेंट और द गिल पाउचेस कॅन बी लीड करतात तिथे. सो आफ्टर बकल कॅव्हिटी द नेक्स्ट और थर्ड पार्ट इन alimentary कॅनल इज pharynx. The pharynx is wide laterally, low dorsoventrally, but larger than buccal cavity. It has an oval pit. The spiracle and 5 vertical slits like apertures are present. The internal gill slits on either side of the head. The internal gill slits which leads into the gill chambers which opens to the outside by the external gill slits. The mucous membrane of the pharynx also bears numerous denticles near the gill slits which prevent the escape of the food. The pharynx narrow posteriorly and leads into the esophagus. आता जिथे बकल कॅव्हिटी फॅरिंग्सला लीड करते, नो डाऊट फॅरिंग्सचा जो पार्ट आहे तो लार्ज आहे ॲज कम्पेअर टू बकल कॅव्हिटी. आणि जिथं ते इंटरनली गिल पाउचेसला लीड करतात दॅट मीन्स वॉट, आउटर साईडला एक्सटर्नल गिल स्लिट्स कॅन बी प्रेझेंट. इन एक्सटर्नल मॉर्फोलॉजी वी हॅव टू सीन दॅट हेड अँड ट्रंक रिजन कॅन बी डिफरन्शिएटेड टू each other by the help of external gill slits. 5 pair of external gill slits present in between the head and trunk region. So this external gill slits position is internal and external present in pharynx. After and pharynx automatically lastly कुणाला लीड करतो, esophagus. The next part in digestive system is esophagus. The esophagus is a short, thick and wide muscular tube with internal lining of mucous membrane raised into longitudinal folds which is called as rugae. द इंटरनल इसोफेगसच्या इंटरनल लेअरमध्ये म्युकस मेम्ब्रेन सराउंडिंग असतात. 3 म्युकस लेयर्स कॅन बी सराउंडिंग अँड दिस म्युकस लेअर आर फोल्डेड इन स्ट्रक्चर. फोल्डिंग प्रेझेंट असतं त्यांचं. दिस फोल्डिंग स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड ॲज रुगी. कोणासारखं जे स्ट्रक्चर तयार होतं, इंटरनल फोल्डिंग विच इज कॉल्ड ॲज रुगी. So the esophagus remains closed but opens during the swallowing of food to check the entry of water in the stomach. युजली तर ते क्लोज असतं इसोफेगस बट ॲट द टाईम ऑफ स्वॅलोईंग म्हणजे जेव्हा फूड इनगल्फ केलं जातं, आपण म्हटलो आहे त्यात मास्टिकेशन होत नाही किंवा चेविंग होत नाही. फूड इनगल्फ केलं जातं डायरेक्टली. आफ्टर इनगल्फिंग द फूड इसोफेगस कॅन बी ओपन आउट. कशासाठी ओपन आउट होतं ते, टू इन्श्युअर द वॉटर एंटर इन टू द ॲलिमेंटरी कॅनल. वॉटरची आतमध्ये एंट्री होते की नाही ह्याची श्युअरिटी करण्यासाठी इसोफेगस काय होतं, ओपन होतं ॲट द टाईम ऑफ इनगल्फिंग द फूड. The esophagus exhausts or extends backwardly dorsally to the pericardium and enters the sphygmocele and opens into the stomach. Pericardium, it is the layer surrounded by stomach. Outer layer of stomach, which is called as pericardium, and the esophagus backwardly dorsally to the pericardium ला enter करतं and esophagus directly leads into the stomach. तर esophagus नंतर फिफ्थ पार्ट जो डायजेस्टिव्ह सिस्टीम मध्ये तो कुठला, स्टमक. द स्टमक इज अ लॉंग ट्यूब बेंट on itself and forms a J-shaped organ. J-shaped organ, large as the stomach as compared to all part of alimentary canal. Stomach is large and it can be divided into two stomach, that is large stomach and small stomach. पुढे पाहणार आहोत आपण द लॉंग ब्रॉड. फक्त हे लक्षात ठेवा की स्टमक लॉंग ट्यूब असते आणि इट्स सेल्फ फॉर्म अ जे शेप्ड स्ट्रक्चर. आफ्टर दॅट द stomach, the long broad proximal limb is cardiac stomach and short narrow distal limb is pyloric stomach. In short काय म्हणणार आपण, long stomach is called as large stomach is called as cardiac stomach and short or narrow stomach is called as pyloric stomach. These are the two parts of stomach, or stomach divided itself divided into two parts, large and small. Large is called as cardiac and small is called as pyloric. At the junction of the cardiac and pyloric stomach, a small outgrowth is a blind sac is present. जिथे कार्डियक स्टमक अँड पायलॉरिक स्टमकचं जॉईनिंग होतं किंवा लार्ज स्टमक अँड स्मॉल स्टमकचं जॉईनिंग होतं, दिस पार्ट इज कॉल्ड ॲज ब्लाइंड सॅक. The lining of mucous membrane of the cardiac stomach is thrown into the numerous prominent longitudinal folds or rugae which are continuous in front with the esophagus and end behind the blind sac. जसं इसोफेगसमध्ये ट्रान्सफर्स रोज असतात मेम्ब्रेन्सचे, म्युकस मेम्ब्रेन्सचे. दिज आर लीड्स इन टू अ रुगी, फोल्डेड स्ट्रक्चर जे तयार होतं विच इज कॉल्ड ॲज रुगी. दिस इज स्टार्ट फ्रॉम इसोफेगस आणि एंड बिहाइंड द ब्लाइंड सॅक. अँड ब्लाइंड सॅक, इट इज द जंक्शन बिटवीन द पायलॉरिक अँड कार्डियक स्टमक. The mucous membrane of the pyloric stomach is smooth proximally except low longitudinal folds in the posterior region which leads into a stomach, globular, thick muscular walled sac and bursa insciana. After that, a crescentic fold of mucous membrane, the esophageal valve is present at the junction of esophagus and cardiac stomach. Similarly, a circular band of muscle fibers, the cardiac valve guards the passage between the cardiac stomach and the pyloric stomach. आता जिथे क्रिसेंटिक इसोफेगस डायरेक्टली लीड करतं कार्डियक स्टमकला, म्हणजे लार्ज स्टमकला. जेव्हा इसोफेगस लार्ज स्टमकला लीड करतं, अ सर्क्युलर बँड ऑफ मसल फायबर्स कॅन बी फॉर्म विच इज कॉल्ड ॲज कार्डियक वॉल्व गार्ड्स. It is the passage between the cardiac stomach and pyloric stomach. At the end of pyloric stomach, a similar band of circular muscle fibers, the pyloric valve is present. जिथे कार्डियक स्ट्रक्चर, कार्डियक स्टमकमध्ये कुठलं वॉल्व आहे, कार्डियक वॉल्व गार्ड्स. आफ्टर दॅट इन पायलॉरिक स्टमक अ सर्क्युलर मसल फायबर इज प्रेझेंट विच इज कॉल्ड as pyloric valve. The stomach leads into intestine, is suspended from the dorsal body wall by a double fold peritoneum. जसं pericardium, stomach leads into outer membrane which is called as pericardium. As like that, stomach leads into the next part of digestive system is called as intestine and the outer layer is called as peritoneum. The next or important part in that digestive system is intestine. The intestine is a straight wide tube almost same diameter as cardiac stomach near its middle running straight backwards into the abdominal cavity, and the anterior region of the intestine receives the bile duct dorsally and the pancreatic duct ventrally. दोन डक्ट इंटेस्टाईन कॅरी करतं. कुठल्या 2 डक्ट? डॉर्सली कुठली करते? बाईल डक्ट. आणि व्हेंट्रली कुठली करते? पॅनक्रियाटिक डक्ट. आणि दिस इज कॉल्ड ॲज डिओडिनम, व्हेअर रेस्ट ऑफ द इंटेस्टाईन इज नोन ॲज इलियम. जिथे ह्या 2 डक्ट एंटर करतात इंटेस्टाईनमध्ये, दिस पार्ट इज कॉल्ड ॲज डिओडिनम. आणि आफ्टर दॅट दिस डिओडिनम, रेस्ट ऑफ द इंटेस्टाईन इज कॉल्ड ॲज इलियम. सो हेअर वी हॅव टू डिस्टिंग्विश द 2 parts of intestine. First is duodenum and second one is ileum. The mucous membrane of the ileum is produced into a scroll valve having one edge attached to the mucosa of the intestine and the other edge rolled up longitudinally on itself, making an anti-clockwise spiral about 2 half turns in a transverse section of scroll valve. Looks like a watch spring. इंटेस्टाईनचं इलियम आफ्टर जे डिओडिनम नंतरचा जो रेस्ट ऑफ द इंटेस्टाईनचा पार्ट आहे विच इज कॉल्ड ॲज इलियम, ती इलियम काय करते? स्वतःच्या भोवतीच एक एज रोल्ड अप लॉन्जिट्युडिनली रोल्ड करते, अँटी क्लॉकवाईजली स्पायरल होते ती. आणि तो स्पायरल कितीचा असतो? 2.5 tons transverse section of scroll walls, look like a watch spring. The main function, which is this part, is called as scroll valve, and the main function of the scroll valve serves not only to increase the absorptive surface area of the intestine but also prevents the rapid passage for the food through the ileum to ensure the complete absorption of food. डायरेक्ट इनगल्फ होतं, त्याच्या डायरेक्ट फूड इनगल्फ डायरेक्ट मिळतं त्यांच्यामध्ये, मॅस्टिकेशन होत नाही, चेविंग होत नाही. सो दॅट्स वाय दिस स्क्रोल वॉल फॉर्म द मेन फंक्शन इन इंटेस्टाईन. ते लार्ज पॅसेज अवेलेबल करून देते फूड ॲब्सॉर्प्शनसाठी. There is no mesentery, therefore the intestine lies free in the abdominal cavity. The ileum narrows the posteriorly to get merged with the rectum. इंटेस्टाईन नंतर लास्ट पार्ट रेक्टम आहे, तर त्या रेक्टममध्ये मर्ज होण्यासाठी इलियम काय करते? पोस्टेरियर पार्ट नॅरो करते. म्हणजे जसं जसं ते पुढं सरकत जाईल तसं तसं त्या स्क्रोल वॉलचा रिजन नॅरो होत जाईल. The next part is rectum. The rectum is short, narrow, straight tube opening behind through anus into the ventral cloaca. A rectal valve is present at the junction of intestine and rectum. जिथं इंटेस्टाईन रेक्टममध्ये इन्सर्ट होतं किंवा मर्ज होतं त्या जंक्शनला काय म्हणायचं? तिथे जंक्शनच्या तिथे काय प्रेझेंट असते? रेक्टल वॉल्व प्रेझेंट असते. It receives dorsally a tubular rectal gland and functions in the excretion of excess blood salts taken along with the food. Next part present in digestive system is cloaca. The cloaca is a short terminal chamber opens to the outside by a cloacal aperture, and it receives ducts to the urinogenital system and a pair of abdominal pores leading from the splanchnocoel. After cloaca, the cloacal aperture is present. It is a small longitudinal aperture located on the ventral side of the base of the tail in between the 2 pelvic fins, the paired fins, which serves for the elimination of feces, urine and genital products. This is the end of digestive system. So firstly we can recall the complete alimentary canal starts from mouth, then buccal cavity, then esophagus, then pharynx, then esophagus leads into a stomach divided into cardiac stomach and pyloric stomach. After that, stomach leads into intestine, and intestine is divided into duodenum and ileum is merged into the rectum, and rectum is converted into cloaca. After cloaca, the cloacal aperture for the elimination of the remaining material or excretory material is present. This is the figure which shown the digestive system of Scoliodon. So see in that, the first from mouth nantar buccal cavity, then pharynx, then esophageal valve, cardiac stomach, large part is middle cardiac stomach. After that, the long narrow tube is pyloric stomach. After pyloric stomach, intestine is present. In that intestine, scroll valve is present. दुसऱ्या फिगरमध्ये दाखवते ते. Then rectum नंतर after that cloaca and cloacal apertures. This is the digestive system of Scoliodon. This is the figure of scroll valve. So this is the digestive system. In next lecture we see the digestive glands and physiology of digestion. तोपर्यंत इथे थांबूयात. थँक्यू.